It's a pleasure to be here. We've got some amazing acts for you from both sides of the River Thames. We've even got someone here from Penge, and believe me, they need a laugh. Now, I hear that we're going into a second lockdown. Let's hope it's better than the first one. But in the first lockdown, a lot of people got creative. There was some incredible poetry written in the first lockdown, and even some amazing comedy. Not from me. But what do most of us do? Try and replicate the experience we usually get at our favourite fast food restaurants at home and posting it online to all our mates. It was called Hacking McDonald's. Well, I had a go at hacking Chicken Cottage. And if you're not from the UK, Chicken Cottage is where you go for chicken in the UK if you can't afford KFC. And I wanted to get it just right. I wanted to replicate the experience you get on a Friday night after the pub shuts about 10 o'clock. So we're down 15 pints of lager, microwave some chicken drumsticks, sipped on a flat Coke, while my wife shouted drunken abuse at me in her dressing gown. It was just like being there. All right, we've got 10 acts for you in this half. And we've even got some award-winning acts that have actually won awards, not for comedy, but awards nonetheless. What do we believe in? Equal love for all our acts. How do we show that love? Not how you think, mate. It's by facing the right way, by putting smiles on our faces, by making as much noise as we possibly can to show our appreciation. In a minute, I'm going to do a countdown, 3, 2, 1. When I get to the 1, we're going to make as much noise as we can to show our appreciation for all our acts in this half. We got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, I know you're keen to do this. 3, 2, 1. Hey, I think we're ready. Okay, we're ready for our first act.
Yay!
Yeah.
Woo!
Ooh.
All the way from Argentina via East London. Give her a nice warm welcome, Victoria Alsina.
Hello, thank you guys. I'm very excited to be here today. My name is Victoria, and I'm originally from Argentina, which is quite different from the UK. In the UK, for example, you have jobs. In Argentina, we have much more attractive people. I became interested in British culture because of the most talented and influential British band of all times, Spice Girls. It's because of this that I felt motivated to learn English as a child. And that's how a song that I knew was, show me to the right if you got a pinch quericha. Pinchu, slam me to the left if you're having a good time. English is a fascinating language. I was so obsessed about the Spice Girls that eventually I had to ask myself, do I really admire these women or do I just want to sleep with them? That's how I realized I was a lesbian Spice. As a lesbian, the thing that I get the most is unsolicited feedback. I get this comment all the time, you don't really look like a lesbian. Oh, really? Do you think you look straight? For the record, I don't try to guess if people are straight or gay based on the looks, because I've already been burned by Sporty Spice. Dating, it's hard for me here because in Argentina, we have much more attractive people. And also because I'm the only lesbian in East London who is not a vegan. I feel that lesbian dating is like normal dating, but without dick pics. Instead, we send each other pages of the Doc Martens catalog. It's either that or headshots of Sporty Spice. I feel that lesbians don't send a lot of nudes, but instead, after the second date, we move in together. The lesbian version of Grindr is called Zoopla. I attract two kind of girls, straight girls and sociopath. I think they're the same thing.
Yes.
I don't like calling them straight girls because I think it undermines the potential. I prefer baby gays. And I'm not going to blame myself for always pulling baby gays. I don't blame myself for anything. I'm a millennial. I blame other lesbians. I mean, they don't like me because I have very beautiful hair and an awful personality. There is this kind of baby gay that always likes me. She cares less about personalities and more about scented candles. And she likes me because I smell nice, and if she leaves me unattended, I'll burn her flat down. She identifies as a labor voter, trapped in the body of a Waitrose shopper. Her pronouns are kombucha and ethical fashion. She's trying to prove the world how woke she is, and for that, she needs a token ethnic friend and a lesbian experience. And with me, two become one, baby.
Spice Girls.
She will never call herself bisexual because that's a word that actually means something. She prefers heteroflexible. And I don't even know what that means. And I have been a professional lesbian for 17 years. Sometimes I think she doesn't even like girls, but she's bored and trying to be edgy, and pixie cats are not a thing anymore. But don't get me wrong, I have no problem with people exploring their sexuality. Just don't use my vagina as the map. And that's my time tonight. Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Give it up one more time for Victoria Alsina. All right, I'm going to keep it moving, and we've got Jackie Doherty up next. Jackie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. Okay, give her a nice warm welcome, Jackie Doherty.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
You're going to have to bear with me because it's the first time doing a gig on Zoom. Up until this pandemic crap, I thought Zoom was a song from the Fat Larry's band. That's one for the over 50s, or a nice lolly. But, you know, I did have a great little set planned all about the pandemic and the lockdown. But after yesterday's news, it's not really funny anymore, is it? So I'm going to talk to you about my week. And it's been quite a good one. Now, I'm actually in a bit of shock, and I'll tell you why. I found out this week that Sainsbury's are actually selling a cut price range of sex toys. Yep, you heard me right. Sex toys. Now, they start at £10 and they come in a range of colours. They've got gold, silver, rose gold and black, which is nice because you can match it to your iPhone. And us girls do like to coordinate things. Now, I didn't know whether there'd really be much demand for picking up a vibrator along with your fish fingers. But, you know, who am I to judge? And it just so happened that I actually had a double Nectar Points coupon that needed using up. So off I went. So I went down to my local Sainsbury's. Now, I didn't need a lot because I'd already done my big shop. So first thing I had to do was prepare my basket. So I put in there a big bag of spinach, some Moroccan flatbreads, and a copy of the Woman's Weekly magazine. First thing I had to do is find the item. Now, I don't know where it's going to be. Is it going to be in with the fruit and veg, nestled amongst the courgettes and the cucumbers? Is it going to be with the cleaning products? Is it going to be with seasonal toys? I certainly hope not. Anyway, it turns out it's down the well-being aisle, whatever that is, I do not know. But anyway, there it is, right amongst the Tenor Ladies and the Vagisil gel. Right next to a lovely display of comfy cardigans and slippers. Now, that's great thinking from the marketing department. They've obviously worked it out that all sex-deprived middle-aged women piss themselves, dry as a desert, they like to be comfy. And you know, anyway, I've found the item and I've got it in my bag. Now, I've hidden it there, you know, and now I've got to get to the checkout and pay for it. Now, this is where I hadn't really given it a great deal of thought. If I go to the normal checkout, even the 5 items only, I've got to put it on the conveyor belt, the assistant's got to touch it, you know. What if it doesn't scan? Can you imagine? Price check! How much is the rose gold? Pleasure. No, far too embarrassing. You know, I'm just about to give up on the whole thing. And all of a sudden I think, there it is. Self-checkout. What a genius thing that is. So I get to the checkout. I get to the self-checkout. Now, I've put me Waitrose Hessian bag in the bagging area because I'm joking. This is no time for a flimsy 5p bag. This is called for heavy-duty baggage. And you can't get it. I've put my bag in and I've scanned my first couple of items. Ding! Ding! Then I grab the item. I have a quick look around. Make sure nobody's watching. This is no time you want to bump into the vicar's wife, is it? There's no one around. The item from underneath the Women's Weekly. And as I scan it with one carefully choreographed move, scan straight in the bag. Oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? There's an unexpected item in the bagging area. You ain't kidding. And with that, the lights are flashing. There's a high-pitched sound. Everybody's looking. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I just want to die. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Calm down. Calm down. There's a perfectly reasonable explanation. Well, it turns out that sex toys are an age-restricted item. All right, this happens every time I buy my gin. Somebody will be along in a minute. They just press a button. Be fine, no problem. And sure enough, oh, for God's sake, there, standing in front of me with his stupid little man bun and his skinny jeans is Harvey. Harvey is my daughter's boyfriend, my teenage daughter's boyfriend. I forgot he's got a part-time job there. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Now I've gone over time. Is that all right? Can I just finish the joke?
Yeah.
Nearly there. Oh, I promise. But anyway, so he's looked at me. Oh God, maybe he's not going to notice. He's a bit dim. But anyway, he gives me that look. What happens in Sainsbury's stays in Sainsbury's. He's on his way. Ooh, I get out the shop. I get to the exit. The bloody alarms go off. Who would put a security tag on a £10 vibrator? I ask you. Oh, I get to my car, sitting there thinking, thank God for that. All of a sudden, on the window, it's only bleeding Harvey. He's waving a pack of AA batteries at me. You might. Oh, I wish I'd have done an online shop. Cheers, everyone.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Great stuff, Jackie. Give it up one more time for Jackie Doherty. It actually reminds me of the time I'm getting to an age now where every time I try something new, I get accused of having a midlife crisis. And I was in the cereal and I wanted to try these tropical unicorn Cheerios. And the wife says to me, is this all part of your midlife crisis? And I said, look, I'm not having a midlife crisis. Went off to do some naked capoeira. Went off on a midnight alien hunt. And then I logged on to host the All London Comedy Show. Okay, are we ready for our next act? Are you ready, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to enthusiastic.
Yeah, that's as excited as I can possibly get, yeah.
Well, we're truly international. We're going to Rome, Italy, but he sounds like he's from London. Give a nice warm welcome, Michael Monkhouse.
You all right? Hi, hi, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the level of energy I want to maintain. Good. Let's keep that enthusiasm going. Well, I've been doing this for years now, and I'm still shit. So let's get it out of the way as quickly and painlessly as possible, so I can go to the pub and get pissed instead. I've been asked to take all the swearing out of my act. Good night. No, seriously, I have been asked to stop talking about the Spice Girls. I said, all right, if that's what you want, what you really, really want, to stop right now. Thank you very much. Goodbye, my friend. Too much? So I'm going to do one Spice Girls joke and then shut the fuck up. Don't worry. I told Jerry Halliwell from the Spice Girls she had a clandestine relationship with my pet kangaroo. It was true. She wasn't convinced. She said, "Is your wallaby my lover?" Even I can't believe I do that one sometimes. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about something different today, something original, something no one else is discussing, something that's not in the newspapers. It's called coronavirus. Now, it's a bit of an eye-opener for some of you, I know. So here we go. What's the difference between Mrs. Thatcher and coronavirus? Thatcher couldn't close all the hospitals. I thought it was funny when Mrs. Thatcher died. I thought it was very funny. No, but in particular, it was funny because the first tribute to Mrs. Thatcher came from the Italian Prime Minister Berlusconi. And I thought, fair enough, he fucked with minors too, so. What's the difference between coronavirus and Berlusconi? Coronavirus might go away. Because Berlusconi said, at this point in life, all I want is food, a place to sleep, and regular sex. That's what he said, Berlusconi. I just want food, place to sleep, and regular sex. So why is he so desperate to stay out of prison? I can see a solution here. I was talking to my good friends, Donald and Melania Trump. I said, can you think of an original slogan? They said, yes, we can. Takes time, that one, but it is worth it, believe me. I'll explain later. You know, people keep saying that Melania Trump is the new Jackie Kennedy. I'm thinking, please, Donald, buy yourself a nice open air convertible. You know you want to. What's the difference between coronavirus and my mother's legs? Coronavirus won't spread forever. What's the difference between my mother's vagina and my mother's living room? You take your shoes off before you enter her living room. No, I understand. No, I understand. This is a bit harsh, really. You know, I have to be a bit careful here because I was doing a show just the other night, and I was doing all these jokes. You know, what's the difference between the Spice Girls, my mother's legs, Spice Girls get back together? You know, and I didn't know, but my dad was in the audience, really. But he was really cool about it. You know, afterwards, he just takes me to one side. He said, Mike, I know you're just mucking around, but next time, can you not make any more jokes about the Spice Girls? Religion's a tough one, you know that. Anyway, I think my time's coming up, so I'm going to fuck off now. Don't worry. I'm going to finish with my English joke, right? If you don't speak English, because I know there are some Americans watching, sorry about that. Gonna try anyway. What brand is your t-shirt? Guess. I don't know. What brand is your t-shirt? That's all from me. You've been mediocre as usual. Glad that's over. Thank you.
Hey,
I hate online because you do this.
give it up one more time for Michael.
Thank you.
Monkhouse. He's going,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Exaggerate.
Now, where Michael's from in Rome, they're very proud of their amazing architecture. And actually, I'm from the northwest of England, a place called Birkenhead. And I know what you're thinking, the length someone will go to just to go to the pub. But in Birkenhead, we too are very proud of our architecture. If you imagine Leonardo da Vinci designing a Mecca Bingo and a couple of Aldis blindfolded and then bombing the shit out of them, that's Birkenhead after the programme of gentrification. From Birkenhead, look across the River Mersey and see the fantastic skyline of Liverpool, the cathedrals, the Liver buildings, the Three Graces, Jones, Kelly, and by the grace of God, what the fuck has she done to her eyebrows? And what do the Scousers in Liverpool get to look at? Birkenhead. But I've been in London for a little while now, and they tell me that being a Londoner is a state of mind. And about 11:30 every Friday night, that state of mind is absolutely wasted and slightly paranoid. If, like me, you've ever travelled on the N29 night bus from a night out, completely shit-faced, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Shortly after that incident, I lost my licence to drive a London bus. Okay, we're ready for our next act. Leslie, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, give her a nice warm welcome. Leslie Gold.
Oh, thanks very much, Guy. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. This lockdown business, right? We seem to be going sort of one step forward and two giant steps back. But I think that might just be Matt Hancock practicing for when he goes on Strictly eventually. Just a thought. So this Tuesday is election day in America. And as an American living abroad, it would be the elephant in the room that I just have to talk about, which kind of makes sense because the elephant is the symbol of the Republican Party, which also makes sense because I can think of at least one leading Republican who's a lot like an elephant in that he's fat, he likes to wallow in muck, and he's prone to rampages all of a sudden. And I get a lot of emails from Donald Trump because early in the days of his presidency, I really struggle with that phrase, but early in the days of Donald Trump's presidency, I got a survey from the White House that wanted to know how I would describe Donald Trump as president. And there were 3 options on the survey. There was terrific, above average, and good. Those were the options. But I looked very carefully and I found a tiny box that said other, ticked that, and I thought, what am I going to fill in for my answer? How would I describe Donald Trump as president? So I wrote pus-encrusted ball sack because that seemed appropriate. And it's proof that they don't actually read the results of their survey because they added me to their mailing list nonetheless. And I'm still getting emails from Donald Trump. But it's okay because I have them set to all go to my spam folder, which seems appropriate because Donald Trump has a lot in common with spam, because one of them is a really low quality ham that you just know will kill you. And the other one is spam. So election day is coming and I already voted by post, as I always do. And of course I voted for Joe Biden. Of course I did. Of course I did. Because if I wanted a president whose morals were opposite to mine, who puts kids in cages, who manages to offend anyone with basic human decency, who's racist, who's sexist, who has a questionable relationship with his daughter, I'd have voted for Borat. And sure, the Constitution says that we can't vote for Borat because he's Kazakh and also not a real person. But we live in an age of alternative facts, and I think Borat would still be better than Donald Trump. And I don't know if anyone's seen the news this morning. You might have missed this story because there's so much news. But the one that caught my eye is that somebody's leaked the White House phone records, and they show that every night after he's turned off Twitter, but before he goes to bed, Donald Trump calls the Kremlin. He's got such a hard on for Putin, that guy. It's like a classic long distance relationship, right? Where you just know one of them is way more into it than the other one. But still, yeah, they talk every night. And you could just imagine the content of those calls, right? Where Donald would be like, oh, Vlad, I don't know what I'm going to do. Jared tells me I'm trailing in the polls, and there's no do-overs in politics. So if I lose on Tuesday, they're going to make me leave. And what's worse, they're going to make me take Melania with me. I don't know what I'm going to do, Vlad. What are we going to do, Vlad? What are we going to do? And Putin says, the same thing we do every day, Pinky. Plan to take over the world. Guys, that's my set. I'm done. Thanks so much. I'm Leslie Gold.
Give it up one more time for Leslie Gold.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Great stuff, Leslie. Okay, now, this next snack, Kevin Cusack, he and I have shared many of the evenings in a sweaty cellar together. Also done some comedy shows together as well. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You are. He's very funny. Okay, give it up for Kevin Cusack.
Right. Hello, everyone. I always film my act. Once a year, it goes well. It's worth doing. I've got some old and new material tonight. None of it works. That's the way it is. A guy said to me, after watching the show, he said to me, that was brilliant for a first attempt. And I thought, I've been doing this for 6 years. I mean, being British, I said, thanks. It's just unbelievable. Now, I went in to buy some shoes. I said to the girl, have you got these in 8.5? She came back. She said, I've got 7.5 and 10. I said, I'll have one of each. One tight, one floppy. I walked like Frankenstein's monster around that shop, dragging one leg behind me. Now, bit of advice, start well. I've deliberately started mediocre to show you how difficult it is to recover, right? Now, the monster Frankenstein, in the film, he chases a guy 21 years old who runs, he's as fit as a flea. The monster walks slowly towards him with his hands over his head and catches him. And I thought, could you use that technique in the 100 meters in the Olympics? Everyone else down in the starting blocks, you standing there with your hands over your head, so you won't be laughing in a minute with this new technique. Now, I've taken years to get to this level in comedy. Can you imagine what it was like when I started off? Okay, see if you get this one. My grandson went to a soft play centre and he had to lie about his age because he was 17 months old and you have to be 18 months old to get in. And I thought, is that the youngest person ever to try and get into a club or lying about their age? That didn't work the last time I told it, but don't matter. Now, true story. I went for a meal with some family and friends in a restaurant in a high street. When we came out, we all said goodnight to each other. And after saying goodnight to each other, we all walked in the same direction and nobody spoke. You have to be there for that one. I think that's funny, but I'm not sure I'm telling it right. Now, true story. When my daughter was young, she bought me a Father's Day card. I said, thanks. She said, I was ages choosing it. I said, that's fantastic. Really nice of you. She said, well, all the others said to the best dad in the world. Yeah, that's a true story. Okay. I went to rebook a club and they shut down. And I thought, that's the 4th time this has happened. I'm getting a bit of a phobia. Huh? Now, I went to a theatre, another true story. 200 seats in a theatre, 15 people in there as the show started. And I said in the interval to an old couple in the corner, hi, and all the rest of it. And they said, we all sit here by the door so we can get out before the rush. Yeah. Now, one night went really well in the last 6 years. And a guy said to me in the bar, you're going to be a top comic in 5 years' time. That was 4 years ago. I can't wait. Another year. It's going to be fantastic. Huh? Now, we have a lottery in this country. And a guy bought a £1 ticket and won 60,000 quid. And the interviewer on telly said, how do you feel? And he said, I feel fantastic. And I've helped the charity. How did he help the charity? He's cleaned them out, isn't he? Huh? I think I'm running out of talent. I've got more, not up to the same standard. One more last joke. No one likes flies. So I wrote a little song. We'll finish with that. Flies have feelings too, just like me and you. And that's it. 5 seconds left. Good night.
Give it up one more time for Kevin Cusack. I've been talking about going out for dinner, and it was my wife's birthday last week, and I took her out for a slap-up meal. And I mean, she threw up and I got a slap. I mean, that'll teach me more than hygiene ratings. But actually, it was lovely. It was a Japanese meal, and I said, "Yeah, this is lovely. This is almost as nice as that dinner you cooked for me last week." She said, "Sake." I said, "No, I'll stick to beer, thanks." Right. Okay, are we ready for our next snack? Gemma, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, from that fantastic wine cellar. Okay, give her a warm welcome, Gemma Barry.
Hi. How are we all doing? I wanted to chat a bit about my family tonight, so apologies maybe. But I used to be a nurse back in the day. I know it's shocking, right? They didn't fire me. I left before any of that happened. But I've got a couple of brothers, and for a little while we were known as the 999 family. And what that meant was that we ruined all sexual fantasies for each other. Because I had one brother who was a policeman, sorry about that, and the other one was a fireman. But I don't really understand my parents much, if I'm honest. I don't have children myself for probably very good reasons, actually. And my brothers are a lot older than me. And my parents, they had teenagers. They were home and dry. And then they thought, I know, let's have another baby. And I don't really get that. I mean, I'm glad, but I don't really get it. And I was born in the 80s. My mum was 37 when she had me. You'll all probably be doing the maths. And she was considered to be a super geriatric parent. And my dad didn't get a title, and he was 42. So when she went to the doctors and he was like, well, you know, do you want an abortion? And she's like, well, no, it's planned. And everyone thought it was a mistake. It probably was. But I thought, my brother's never got this, like, in utero sexism. I bet they never got asked this question, which is a bit rude, really. And like, people, because there was such a generation gap between our family, like, people would assume that my parents were my grandparents, and they'd say things like, oh, excuse me, love, I think your gran's calling you over there. And being a kid and subtle and everything, I'd be like, it's not my gran, it's my mum, you silly bitch. And sometimes I wouldn't say it's my mum. And then as I got older and like my brothers had children and stuff, it all gets really icky, because then people would think that like we were a couple. And I remember going and helping my brother shopping with the kids, and we're going through the checkout, and you know what it's like with little kids, it's a fucking nightmare, right? Like, it put me off, actually. Like, that I thought I'd get gifted them with the like joy of having children, and it didn't put them off. So when they did it, I was like, I am never doing that. Anyway, we were going through the checkout and the lady says to me, oh, don't they look like you? I'm a bit like, all right, Cheryl. Awkward. I'll be sure to tell their mother that when we get home. And I mean, to give Cheryl her due, she might have got the wrong end of the stick, because my niece couldn't actually say my name and would call me mum. And it gets really weird when you're like, she's not mine. Mum, she's not mine. Stop calling me mum. She's not my daughter. I'm not hers. No, stop it. And yeah, it's a bit strange. So my parents were never any less proud of me when I left nursing. And I think if you do something that horrifies your parents, you're onto a good thing. So stick with it. And my mum still introduces me today as like, this is my daughter. She works in a hospital, in a busy London hospital. And I'm like, Mum, you can't say this kind of thing, because like, one, it's not true. And two, I might have to end up helping someone. And people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, do you miss it? And I'm like, well, no, not really. I mean, there's, long hours, shit pay, loads of paperwork. There is one thing I do miss, and that is a really good wound, because you just don't get that in life anymore. That, like nasty, sticky, stinky, pussy wound, like right before lunch. It's just brilliant. And you just don't get that anymore. So you guys have been amazing. I've been Gemma Barry. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
Yay. Great stuff, Gemma. Give it up one more time for Gemma Barry. Go off and drink some of that wine now.
Definitely.
Good stuff. All right. I think we're going to keep things moving along, and we've got Nobi Kobayashi next. Are you ready, Nobi? Yeah.
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's give her a nice warm welcome. Nobi Kobayashi.
Hello, I'm Nobi and I'm originally from Japan. Yay! Are you? No one's doing it. You may be wondering, what's she doing here? Oh, blimey, apples and pears. This is what a Londoner looks like nowadays. Sorry, Mike. I totally deserve to be here, though, because I have colonial education. I meant a British education. Seriously, London is full of people like me. Foreigners! English people have moved out of here in droves because there are too many of us. Foreigners! And did you know? We're all, did you know all, we are all Republicans. I'm not talking about Trump voting Americans. Unlike British people, we are not royal subjects. Welcome to the Republic of London. Yay! No wonder the Queen has moved out of here too. Yeah, it's all because of us. Foreigners. No? Oh, yeah. Is it coronavirus? Phew. We are not as unpopular as coronavirus. Thank goodness. Yes. I know everybody hates coronavirus, but I think we should recognize that it's done a great job contributing to the understandings about Japanese culture. Now we keep social distance. We don't shake hands anymore. We wear masks. We have become paranoid OCD sufferers. We're all turning Japanese. Yeah. So are you ready for another lockdown? Yeah, yes, I am. I do loads of classes online and love Zumba classes with Claudio Lopez. Yes, oh, he's lovely. He's great. I dance like nobody's watching because nobody's watching. I practice it all the time like a horny dog trying to hump your leg, with lots of hip movements. Yes, but I'm afraid this is the closest I get to having sex nowadays. Yeah. Anyway, I was chatting about this to a friend who works in a mortuary. So he said, oh, poor Nobi, you should come to my work sometime. You can dance like nobody's watching, but you'd always have an audience. Some of them even have their eyes open. Well, this reminds me, I went on a blind date with Jeremy Hunt once. Yeah. Sorry, Hunt. For those of you who don't know Jeremy Hunt, you all know, yes, but some American people don't. So he is a small-time conservative politician in Britain. So I'm not bragging if I say I had a blind date with him. It's true, though. It's true. But that was a long time ago. So before I go on, I would like to categorically deny, categorically, I mean, I just want to make sure that he know that he did not invade my Jeremy Hunt. Well, so it was before the age of Tinder, so I didn't know what he looks like. So he sent me a text telling me that he looked like sort of James Bond, you know. So I got to this place mildly excited, and I looked and looked and looked, but no James Bond in sight. And all of a sudden, a tall but plain-looking man came up to me and introduced himself as Jeremy Hunt. I didn't know what to say, so I just stood there and thinking, what should I say? But before I knew it, I was sort of thinking aloud, and I could hear myself saying, like, you, James Bond? You work for the government. That's where the similarity ends. Needless to say, this was the highlight of the evening, but I can tell you he was definitely after Japanese women then. He had a Japanese girlfriend before he got married and settled for a Chinese one, because we all look the same, right? Anyway, certainly China does produce good counterfeit products. Jeremy's wife must be a particularly good one, because he mistakenly referred to her as a Japanese. As Japanese during a visit to Beijing to discuss post-Brexit deals, I mean trade deals with China. You can tell how successful that was. Now the UK has no trade deals with China. Anyway, that was it from me. Thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for Nobi Kobayashi. I'm talking about being ready for a second lockdown. I mean, one thing that I heard on the news about the first lockdown is with everyone being indoors, pollution levels apparently dropped all around the world. Equilibrium returned to cities and towns when Coldplay's world tour was cancelled. I've been trying a few of these Zoom mics. I've done, you know, sometimes you get some technical difficulties, sometimes you don't get any laughs. And I did one last week and I wasn't getting any laughs at all, nothing. And I thought it's time to bring out my really edgy material, the material that I reserved for audiences from Utah or Hemel Hempstead. And even then I wasn't getting any laughs, and then the host muted me. What's going on? He comes on, he says, oh, it's all been very interesting hearing about your naked capoeira and your midnight alien hunts, but I'm still waiting for the update on your finance report, and we need to move on to any other business. I couldn't believe it. Background and everything. All right, are we ready for our next act? Yeah. Give her a nice warm welcome, Chanel.
So I thought I'd better like address the elephant in the room, because if I don't, I'm going to be doing you guys like a big disservice if I don't mention Marmite and peanut butter. Like, what on earth were they thinking? Like, some things just don't go together. It's like a grizzly bear and a goldfish dating. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, you know? So I had some random thoughts, and I was thinking, did dinosaurs breastfeed? I know, you was thinking it too. Like, can you imagine a T-Rex with its tiny little arms and double D breasts? Like, Jurassic Park would have been a whole different movie. That young boy would have been so conflicted. Does he run, or does he do some research and figure out, cow's milk or dinosaur milk? So I was thinking, the English language is very strange. Like, the word we use, like lost and lost, Now, I lost my virginity. Now, that I don't understand, because I don't remember misplacing my virginity on the bottom of Tyron's bunk bed when I was 17. Now, weight loss. This one I get. Totally get it. You will lose the weight, but trust me, you will find it again. I know, because I'm currently in the discovery phase. So, it's 2020. We've been through a lot, guys, but we still have happy period adverts. Like, I've never been excited to see my period. Well, apart from that one time, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I've never been like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm about to bleed for like 5 to 7 days. Or the fact that I have to wear an adult nappy or shove a water cotton wool up my fanny. Now, this got me thinking about the sanitary industry. Like, were they upset that Red Bull stole the slogan, Red Bull gives you wings? So I was thinking, what would it ever have been like if it was tampon gives you wings? Like, would a lady have been walking down the street and then wings would have just appeared from her crotch? Maybe it's best that Red Bull gives you wings, you know? Now, I'm just thinking, like, have you guys ever seen a pregnant squirrel?
No.
No, right. Let me know when you do see one, because I would love to know. And and that's all I have for you guys today, guys. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Chanel. All right. Now, I got a knock on the door from the old Bill last night. That's the police if you're from outside the UK. And they told me that we suspect that you're running an illegal garden centre on your property. We've heard about a surge in the electricity. So we think you're running an illegal garden centre, and Cheech and Chong are your best customers. You want to check across the road. They've just opened the Five Guys. There's a lot of wattage in them light bulbs. All right, we've got one more act left, and we're going all the way to San Diego, California for our headliner of this half. Alex, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give him a nice warm welcome, Alex Vo.
Are you tired of draining Zoom calls? Want to take the day off but not use your precious vacation hours or sick time? Then check out Zoom Decoy. Zoom Decoy is our state-of-the-art technology that allows you to take a professional break from all those draining Zoom calls. Each Zoom Decoy comes preset with different phrases for different situations, such as listening. I am listening. That is a good point. Well done. You did that. And technical difficulties. Karen, can you please mute your mic? Joe, we can't hear you. Your mic is muted. And we even have ones for those long British comedy open mics. Ha ha ha, that is so funny. And we have ones for people who say all lives matter, even though it derails the conversation around police violence. Karen, that's racist. Karen, that's racist. So get your Zoom Decoy today for only $99 per month at zoomdecoy.com. Shout out to all our Zoomtroverts. We zoom in so you can zoom out. So yeah, I am coming to you from the British Isles of San Diego, California. And besides marketing my Zoom Blur, my Zoom Decoy, I also want to market my new product. I wanted to kind of introduce mystery back into dating, especially in this virtual age. So let me show you this. Do you feel tired of our culture where you feel like too much is revealed at once over dating? want to introduce mystery back into your dating life, then check out Zoom Blur. Zoom Blur is the state-of-the-art technology that allows you to move at the pace you want to in your dating life. So take your time, go at the pace you want to go to, and when it comes time for that big reveal, boom, Zoom Blur. So Zoom Blur is you. So yeah, take your time. Nudes are out, blurs are in. So you can take the time at your pace to show what you want to go for, And you can even use it for other reasons. Like they don't know what you're serving, they don't know what you're packing, they don't know how big or how really big it could be, So get your Zoom Blur, Masks are not just for the indoors. Masks are not just for outdoors anymore. You can wear them indoors and cover up over Zoom Blur as well. And finally, I also have a guest on my show today. She is the moment, she is the culture, and basically, I'll let her speak for herself. She is probably the most popular celebrity of 2020 and also a controversial figure,
Listen up, everyone. We have been just informed that there's an unknown virus that's attacking all clubs. Symptoms have been said to be heavy breathing, wild dancing, coughing. So when you hear the sound, run for cover, motherfucker.
Hi, my name is Coronavirus, and I am on the American tour for my new album, Second Wave. What can I say? America loves me, and Trump loves me.
So, Coronavirus, what's your vision for this new album, Second Wave? What are you going for? What are you trying to do?
Well, for my latest album, Second Wave, I didn't even want it to feel like a comeback. I wanted it to almost feel like I had never left. Live, laugh, love, girl. I'm such a free spirit, and I love to travel, have fun with my girls, going to the clubs, crowd surfing at concerts, lung surfing, just truly living my best life and being free. That's what I wanted this latest album to feel like.
But I feel like you have a special relationship with your American fans, Tell me a little more about that American relationship, that special bond that you have with us,
OMG. Trump has embraced me since my very first world tour. I remember letting him know I was coming as early as January, and his administration welcomed me with open arms.
They sure did.
He's even working with me for my next tour, the Reopening Schools tour for fall 2020. I'm so excited. And Americans, they love to party, they love to have fun and live their life. I've been to so many meet and greet parties, and honestly, America is such a blast. It's a party in the USA,
Well, thank you for joining us today, Coronavirus. I'll let you go back to staying with Trump and Pence now at their estate. Please stay away from me. Thank you for my time, everybody. That's my time.
Hey. Give it up one more time. Alex Bow. Okay, and we're going to give it up for all our acts in this half. We have Victoria Alcina, Jackie Doherty, Michael Monkhouse, Leslie Gold, Kevin Cusack, Gemma Barry, Nobby Kabayashi, Chanel, and one more time for Alex Bow. Okay, it's 5 o'clock and we're into the second half of the show. Welcome everyone who's here for the second half. Okay, this is the All London Comedy Show. I'm your host, Guy Fagan, and we have got some fantastic acts for you in the second half. We've got 10 fantastic acts. They're all fantastic. How do I know they're all fantastic? It's because I know the worst act on the circuit, and he ain't not here. No, he's not here. So they're all fantastic. Okay. At the beginning of the year, I thought, new year, new me, time to lose a bit of weight, get a bit healthy. I tell you what, that vision board's gone right in the bin. But I got one of these Weight Watchers apps on my phone. It's like a big blue W in the middle of my phone. I can't miss it. So I'm going on it every day, and I'm weighing myself once a week. And I'm finding I'm putting on more and more weight. What's going on? It turned out I'd been using the Wetherspoons app. Them surf and turfs just keep on coming. Now, I know, I mean, I have let myself go recently, just like the Wetherspoons owner did with his bar staff. But during lockdown, my wife's got me into all of these shows, sort of Netflix and all of that. And I got into the show, 90 Day Fiancé. Has anyone seen it? Just me then. Well, anyway, the premise is you've got these people in America who are trying to get their love interests over on a 90-day visa. And at the end of the 90 days, they're going to decide if they're going to get married or not. It's a bit like a trial of Amazon Prime. And one of these characters, he's called Colt, or Colty, as his South American ex, Larissa calls him. And he's a big lad. He wears glasses and he lives with his mum. So naturally, he's a bit of a player. And he managed to single-handedly piss off more Brazilians than the entire German 2014 World Cup team. And I do realise that that last joke is dependent on you being A, a 90 Day Fiancé fan, and B, a football fan. There's not a lot of overlap in that Venn diagram. Unlike when Colt's on the beach in his Speedos, quite a lot of overlap. Okay, I think we're ready for our first act. Okay, we've got Romy first. Are you ready, Romy? It's Rumina, just to say it correct.
Yes.
Rumina.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you nice and loud. All right, give her a nice warm welcome. Romina Puma.
Hello, everyone. I'm in the car, guys. I haven't made it home on time, so I'm doing my set in the car. Welcome to the new generation of doing gigs now. Anyway, yes, as Guy said, my name is Romina Puma. Girl, yes. Well, I'm more of a cougar, guys, than a boomer, which is the modern term of spinster, isn't it? I'm a modern spinster. I don't have any cats. No, the only pet I have is a rabbit. It's cute, right? But one with batteries. They're low maintenance. What else can I tell you about myself? Well, as you can probably tell by now, I'm Italian. I didn't have a stroke. That's just my accent. And as a proper cougar, guys, I do have a toy boy. And yeah, he is younger than me. He's about 20 days younger than me. Still counts. And we've been together for 4 years now. It feels like 10, to be honest. In a good way, don't get me wrong. But I think I can consider myself now that I am in a long-term relationship. And you can tell when you are in a long-term relationship when the dynamics change, right? At the beginning, I like to call them like the 3 months of passion, right? It's like those 3 months of you are on fire, like you can't keep your hands off each other. You are shagging everywhere, right? You're having sex everywhere at any time of the day and night, and he takes your clothes off, you take his clothes off, you throw them everywhere, clothes here, knickers there, socks God knows where they go. I never find them. They like to hide, assholes. But you know, you have all this. Like I remember, right at the very beginning, we used to wake up. As I'm doing myself. We used to wake up like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It felt like, you know, having a baby to breastfeed. But there was still some sucking involved, but different kind of sucking. But you know, after this 3 months of you know, of passion, even the PJ that you use is not the same anymore. Like, you know, I used to use all this sexy stuff, you know, lace and, you know, even an orangutan wouldn't be warm in that kind of stuff, right? So now it's all flannel, very thick socks, and all stuff that screams sex, right? And sauciness. And you know, when he asked me, shall we do jiggy jiggy? And I'm cold. Because like now you announce it, right? Before it just a look, you just need a look and you start, but now you announce it, you even plan it ahead because, you know, you're busy. I'm busy. I got like, you know, oh, shall we have sex on a Thursday? No, I've got a gig on Thursday. How about Friday? No, I've got Zumba class. You know, I'll be knackered by the end of it. How about next week on Wednesday? Perfect, in the diary. So then you have everything planned, and on the day you do it in bed, obviously, because I'm old. I can't hold that shit. I can't do the shit anymore. So in bed, nice and comfy. Everyone takes his own clothes off. I actually don't even take them off completely. I keep one leg on so that one stays warm. And so, okay, I'm ready. Now make it quick because I've got MasterChef to watch. So guys, if we have any singles in the room, that's why you can look forward in a long-term relationship. I've been Robina Boomer. That's my time. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, give it up one more time for Romina Puma. Now, that's what you call a drive-in comedy show.
Yeah.
Lights off now. Now, buckle in for your next. Ready, Peter?
Yeah.
All right. Give him a nice warm welcome. Pete Kinsella.
Yeah.
I was going to work on the train the other day. I was eating some nuts, as you do, stay healthy, and they got stuck in my throat, and I obviously just coughing all over the carriage. And that would have been a problem for a lot of people because obviously they've been trying to get out, pick your way, and move elsewhere. But that wasn't an issue for me because no one ever wants to sit next to me anyway. Pre-COVID, no one ever sit next to me on public transport. 10 years I've been getting on the train, Guildford, Surrey, nearly every morning going to London. Guildford's all right, you always get a seat to start with, but then next couple of stops, it's rammed, standing room only, except next to me, because people get on and they see me and they make a decision. They don't want to make eye contact with me, they don't want to engage me in conversation, they don't want to hold my beer or I try and put my tie on. I'll put a caveat in here, right? I don't want anyone to sit next to me, I'll be livid, right? It's just the implied snub, isn't it? You know what the commute like? It's like the rest of the train, there's not enough room to swing a cat. Yeah, the commute, it's like an orgy if it's everyone's first time, isn't it? It's just uncomfortable and crowded, never a good time for anyone to start checking tickets, right? But I'm assuming, anyway, I don't know, obviously I'm no sexual authority, I don't know anything about these group sex they have these days, very much from the perspective of an outsider looking in, which I was told not to do, actually, a private function, apparently. But people don't want to sit next to me. And why don't they want to sit next to me? Because they judge me. And what they judge me on, my appearance or my singing. It's one of the two. Yeah? They'll be fuming if you call them on it. You said, you're judging me, mate. That's me. I don't like to judge, mate. I don't like to judge. It's just, I don't think alcohol is an appropriate breakfast. I don't like to judge. It's just, I don't think that cat likes what you're doing to it. I don't like to judge. It's just, I've had better renditions of Black Magic by Little Mix. Not by Little Mix, no, I'll give you that. But I think, God, I don't like to judge. Right? It's the liberals or I'm not racist, but you know, whatever comes next can be much more damning and judgmental if you're having a Twitter argument with these people and you misspelt a word. Grammar Nazis, essentially. That's the type of people we're dealing with. Grammar Nazis, we hate them, don't we? Grammar Nazis, it clues in the name, grammar, boring, right? They judge me, right? People judge me, and it's not, no one judges puppies, do they? Right? My dogs are racist, everyone blames me. It's not my fault. I didn't teach him to be like that, or I can't stop him eating his own feces. I certainly couldn't teach him to regurgitate that feces as political opinion. And I never get any credit for his liberal views on sexuality, right? Same sex, different species, inanimate objects, doesn't care. He's had sex with more stuffed animals than there's been anonymous late night donations to the West Surrey Children's Hospice. Right? But if anything, people get angrier when he latches onto their leg and starts going at it than they do when he's being racist, which he is. He says he's not. He says he doesn't see colour. But he is, right? Because there's a red herring, right, isn't it? Because dogs are audio based anyway, aren't they? And it's people that don't speak English that he doesn't, you know, it's anyone speaking anything other than English, he hears someone speaking French, just goes mental, right? Which is a bit rich for someone who only knows about 3 words of the language himself. If you only know, right, if you think sit and lick your own ass are interchangeable requests in the language, you don't know enough about that language to criticise others. But he does. He sees people and he goes mental. Usual sort of bile you expect from these sort of people. Woof, 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 sick stuff, really. I used to try and tell people, it's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's him. But then I realised all you've got, if they don't speak English, is a large tattooed man with a visibly angry dog just shouting across the road. And you can see him thinking, oh, I don't like to judge, but racist dog man. You know, Lonely Planet told us about it. He'll have a white van judging me. Again, people shouldn't judge me. It's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm an angel, you know, but I've never done anything horrendous. You know, I've never sent a dick pic. That's not something I'll ever do. I can't draw. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Thank you very much. So.
Yeah.
Give it up one more time for Pekin Salah.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Pete. I'll tell you what, did you hear about this pub in Enfield? That they've actually, as if the police haven't got anything better to do, they actually got the police to go and trace some stolen pint glasses the punters had nicked, using the names and addresses that people had left for track and trace. You know, the police, I couldn't believe it. You know, they must have other things to do, other crimes to solve. I mean, Bubbles and Rainbow denied ever being in the pub. And Mr. Ben, Shira and Teddy Ruxpin remain at large. Okay, our next act is Rebecca Wall. Rebecca, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, she's incredibly funny. Give her a nice warm welcome. Rebecca Wall.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. So I'm hoping this lockdown is going to go better for me, because my first lockdown, I was stuck at home trying to home educate. I've got 3 children, so I was trying to home educate 3 children. And in that time, I managed to find this book here. This was my book from when I was at school, Rebecca Wall, English 6T. So year 6 is like the top year of primary school. So this was my English book from when I was 11. So when I was doing my home education, I thought, oh, this might come in handy to sort of share with my own children. And I found a story I wrote called The Smuggling Tale, and it's a story that I'd like to share with you all this evening. So A Smuggling Tale, 14th of November, 1989. So yes, this story I wrote 31 years ago. So I can see you all looking now, trying to work out how old I must be. Right, so I'll get started if you're all sitting comfortably. It was a cold, dark night. My mum and I were very poor. I am Rebecca and I am 11, and my mum is called Linda. That was when we had just about had enough. So far this story is more fact than is fiction, because my name is Rebecca. I wrote this when I was 11 and my mum is called Linda. And at that stage of my life, we were very poor. And it's the sort of thing my mum would always say, I've just about had enough. So a bit of a backstory. My dad had an affair with his secretary and run off and left my mum when I was this age to bring up 5 children on her own. So I think a lot of this is like resonating in this story, that we were poor and my mum had just about had enough. I will continue. That's when we decided to go smuggling down on the coast. We sat on the rocks and waited and waited. By this time we were freezing. That's another thing. Quite often the money would run out on the gas meter, so we didn't have any heating at home, so we were always freezing. So again, a lot of fact is going into my fiction here. Eventually a ship went past. My mum and I quickly lit a match and the ship was coming closer. Brilliant, it was working. And with a loud crash, it hit the rocks. My mum and I jumped into the sea and started getting all the men and banging their heads against the rocks, killing them. So you can see, yes, my mum was really kind of anti-men at this stage in my life. Then I saw one of them crawling up the beach trying to get away, and my mum saw him and pulled a dagger from her dress and threw it and stabbed him to death. Then she ran up the beach and pulled it out. We also, can't read my own spelling here. Oh, then I remembered I had a gun. I'd stolen it from the arms shop. I pulled it out of my pocket and I missed the man by miles, but I shot my mum in the arm. Luckily, she was just wounded. Then my mum took the gun and shot the last man dead. At last, we could get into the boat. It was full of brandy, whiskey, sherry, tons of it. So you can see this like the 1980s by that drinks list. We carried as much as we could. Then we got stopped by the police and they took us off to jail. Soon they hung my mum. I had to watch. It was ghastly. Then I had to spend the rest of my life in jail. The end. That was my life, age 11. And the teacher wrote, so after the teacher obviously read my story and had to mark my story, that is my real story, she wrote, good, a very interesting story. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Let me share that with you.
Yeah.
Stuff. Give it up one more time for Rebecca. Whoa.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Okay. Victor Daniel. So I'm hoping Stephen Mulwiney. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Yes. Sorry, we all know.
Go in a second. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Now let's give him a nice warm welcome. Stephen Mulwiney.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, my name is Stephen Mulwiney. Are we all enjoying 2020? No, of course not. No. I mean, you know, it's a strange year when everyone's favorite month is January. It's never a normal year when that's the case, is it? And here we are back on a Zoom gig again. With all London going into lockdown this week, we're going to have to get used to it. I was worried before that the thing that would ruin my comedy career would be a 1-star review. Turns out now it's BT Broadband. And I don't really like Zoom gigs, because when you have a camera just there, you can see that I've got work done. We've got an extension fitted just out the back there, which always makes things relatable in London, doesn't it? So, but yeah, and I'm slowly getting used to delay with this here as well. I mean, I tend to find that my laughs are delayed about 5 minutes and come in the next set, but hopefully we'll get used to that as we go on. But I know we're not looking forward to second lockdown here in London starting on Thursday. But there is one thing that I am actually looking forward to, and that's that I have an excuse not to meet my mates down the pub. And the reason for that is that my friends are bitter middle-aged old men. Now, I can see some of the people here are quite young, so they won't quite understand this. You think your friends are all cool and interesting. Yeah, but in 20 years' time, some of those people will become complete bell ends. It's what I call the Morrissey effect. So get used to that. A little warning for you. It's what happened to my friends. And in fact, they're the sort of people now who love to give you their opinions, or as they like to call them, facts. And there's one thing that's got them really angry at the minute, one thing they really hate, and it's this, a thing we're all used to. It's the face mask. Oh, they really hate them. They absolutely loathe them. Well, actually, not all of them. One of them doesn't mind wearing it. He's called Keith. That's probably because he's a ventriloquist. But everyone else, they hate wearing it. And I tell you, the nonsense they come out with of why they don't like wearing this. Like the other day, my mate Gary was saying to me, he's going like, oh yeah, when you wear it, you can't breathe. It's like you're suffocating. I can't get any air into my lungs. It's like, what are you covering your face with? A pillow? Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you probably can't see there. I'm not really the most fittest of guys. You know, you've heard of Diet Coke Man. I'm full calorie Coke Man. I mean, they say the camera adds 10 pounds, but this is not an 8-camera setup I've got going here. And so you can see I'm not the picture of health, but I can still do my Big Shop and Morrison's wearing a face mask without needing an oxygen tent. It's nonsense, isn't it? But you hear Gary go on, he's saying things like, oh, asphyxiation, I feel strangled. I mean, like, it's not the worst thing during the pandemic, is it? No, I mean, of course not. That's forgetting you have a paper cut and then using hand sanitizer. That's the worst thing. And actually, the other one they come out with, it's just as bad, is he goes on about, you know, it's all about civil liberties. It's all about freedom. I mean, you know you're in trouble when the finger comes out and starts pointing. He's like, my grandfather didn't fight for Britain in World War II. Oh, is he German? I mean, you've got to have your fun. You've got to have your fun with this here. So now what I'm saying is that you can't force everyone to wear something, especially if some of them don't want to wear it. Gary, that's not what you said about poppies. Yeah, but that's different with poppies. It's different. So still going with a finger. So what I'm saying is that anyone who would fight for freedom wouldn't want to cover their face. It's like, Gary, that's not true. I grew up in Northern Ireland in the 80s. We had a lot of freedom fighters and they were very keen on wearing the balaclava. And there's, I mean, eventually you do get a bit fed up with it. And so you want to have a bit of fun. And I just try winding them up. So I sort of say to him, of course, you know who's behind all this, don't you? Brussels. That's them gone for a good 20 minutes as well. Thank you very much. My name's been Stephen Mulwiney. Good night.
Yeah.
Give it up one more time for Stephen Mulwiney.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Stephen. If I've got one word of advice for you, it's get some new mates. Now, talking about going to the pub, I know we're not going to be able to go to the pub much longer, but when they decided to lower the Nando's level in the UK from level 4 medium peri-peri to level 3 lemon and herb, and they opened the pubs, I thought, you know, we'll be okay. I mean, us Brits have a well-renowned reputation for sensible drinking. Just like Donald Trump has a well-renowned reputation for his expertise on the medical uses of toilet cleaner. Okay, we've got 5 acts left. We've got Pussycat Bangkok, Jarrison Lee, Andy Onions, Connor Phillip, and Jocelyn Chia. Okay, give her a nice warm welcome. I'm sure we all know she's kind of a very popular act on the London open mic scene. Give her a warm welcome, Pussycat Bangkok.
Yeah.
Hello, boys and girls and everything else in between. Just want to make sure I cover everybody. The reason I have to give you this state name, Pussycat Bangkok, because if I try to tell you my real Thai name, we will be here until the 3rd, the 4th, the 2021. Because my real Thai name, it is always taking a long time. For example, last week when I lost my bank card and I tried to phone the bank and give them my real Thai name, it's taking me 3 hours with a Pornhub break in the middle. So that's why I have to come up with Pussycat Bangkok. And I hope you can all remember it because in my name have both pussy and cock with the bang in the middle. A lot of people complaining about lockdown, but I want to tell you, I experienced the lockdown before 2020. I experienced this in 2008. Some of you probably think, she probably been in mental asylum. Not quite. Or some of you might think I have been in jail because I am harassing the young boy. No. I am not a MILF. I am not a mother. But the second part is quite true. By the way, I haven't been locked up in anybody basement as a sex slave. But in 2008, I have been in Big Brother house in UK or a TV prison. Imagine a lockdown without Zoom gig, without porn, without Tinder, Grindr, or docking in the park. Or imagine Rebecca and some of you without any toys. And when I talk about toys, I don't mean Lego. I don't mean Barbie. I'm talking about toy that we can get from Ann Summer. Actually, since the lockdown, I even have a swing in my house, but it's not in my garden. It is in my bedroom, and I also put my pussy on it. Meow. Anyway, I think a life of a woman, a lot of the times, it's just like an actress. When you in early teen, everyone want to try you. You go for a lot of audition. In your 20s, you become good. You start to have a sell-out show every night. In your 30s, you probably get some reward or get to go on tour. You even get some night and some matinee show. In your 40s, you need prop, you need dirty script, you need costume, you even need a couple of extra stage hand or an OG party. What's gonna happen in the 50s? Are you gonna become an understudy and you only get booked when no one else available? By the way, you can always book me on #Pussycat Bangkok, but please don't book me for children party. I'm not teaching your kids any ping pong show. I also not going to give happy ending. Daddy, the fee is not include happy ending. Good night.
Yeah.
Give it up one more time for Pussycat Bangkok. Great stuff. Now, it's been a tough time, hasn't it? I mean, the first lockdown, I mean, I don't know how I got through it really, but I tried watching these Facebook Live in your living room shows. You get these talented musicians and singers doing these live shows, and some other people as well, like Chris Martin from Coldplay. And I was watching his live in your living room, and I was a bit bored, to be honest. I thought, you know, I needed to go to the loo, and I thought there's bound to be a song he's going to play that's a bit boring, and it's the perfect amount of time to go off for a week and then come back in time for the next song. Yeah, that song is called Yellow. Now we know Roses no longer play Mr. Brownstone. House of Pain never play When the Shit Goes Down. Well, we don't, because it was Cypress Hill. Two interchangeable bands. Okay, we've got 4 acts left. We've got Jarrison Lee, then we've got Andy Onions, then Connor Phillip, and then Jocelyn Shearer. Okay, Jarrison, are you ready, mate?
Think so.
Looking ready. Okay, good stuff. All right, give him a nice warm welcome, Jarrison Lee.
Yeah.
Thanks for the warm welcome. Like the host said already, my name's Jarrison Lee. No relation to Bruce Lee or Jet Li. Besides, I'll give you an arse whipping quite literally, verbally, that is. Where to start with this, eh? Yeah, Jarrison Lee's a stage name, obviously. If I was to tell you my real name, my government name, you expect the safari behind me or something. You expect zebras and tigers, you know? Anyway, yeah, I come to realize people look at me like a black Cockney because I've got a Cockney accent. It's like, why does he talk like that? It's like, it's because it's the way I talk, isn't it? Anyway, moving swiftly along. How do you know if you're poor? When you ask the shopkeeper, excuse me, boss, which one is the cheapest? Yeah. You're thinking of anything better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. I don't know about you, but is it just me? But every time I go into the kitchen, it's like, come dine with me. Like, come on. I want to show you how to make a cheese sandwich. This is how you chop up some onions. Nah, I don't know. I do the same thing. Like, I'm in and out of work, innit? I don't know if you guys have seen this TV show called Undercover Boss, but I'm in and out of work, innit? I work for the agency and whatever. And like, when I turn up to work sometimes, I'm like, how do you know I'm not the undercover boss here? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know I haven't come to check up on you guys? Anyway, the shit that I see. Yeah, boy. I don't know if you've heard of me before. Jarrison Lee. I'm the local stage bomber. I get on stage and just bomb. But yeah, I got used to it. You know what I mean? You gotta work with it, innit? Anyway, one thing that caught me off guard, I got off stage one night, bombing the hell out of my gig. Got home and then I found a letter from ISIS. They were trying to recruit me. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to stick to the stage, you know, I'm gonna try to stick to the stage. Yeah, man, I don't know. Where did I go with this one? Shit, brain freeze, you know. Yeah, man, my name's Jarrison Lee. I didn't want to bore you. I want to say a big thank you to Guy. I don't know how to pronounce your second name, but I want to say a big thank you for Guy and everyone that's listening. Like, yeah, maybe not your best, but maybe not your worst. My name's Jarrison Lee. Over and out.
Hey.
Yeah.
Great Great stuff. Give it up one more time for Jarrison Lee. Now,
Hey, can you let me host, please?
I've been trying to sort of cut down on the beer lately, and I tried some of these low alcohol beers, and I realised that Carlsberg Special Brew are actually bringing out a low alcohol version. Oh yeah, it's called Carlsberg Special Brew NQAF. Not quite as fucked. Only 8.9% alcohol per volume. Okay. We've got Andy Onions next, and Andy was actually the MC for my first ever open mic show. So it's a bit of a kind of closing the circle a little bit today. Okay, and I think he's got technical wizardry ready for us. All right, are you ready?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay. I think he's ready. Okay, give him a warm welcome. Andy Onions.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm in my mansion, as you can see here. Welcome, everyone from all around the world. This is a lovely time to have a gig because it's like midday in New York on a Sunday. The best time to do a transatlantic gig. Great work to our hosts and everyone. Thank you so much. So I'm here, but I'm not really. I'm actually in China. Look where I am. Can you see me in China? Look here. And they got fortune cookies. And here's a fortune cookie from over here, or over here. We open it up. It's a fortune cookie. What does it say? It says, I shouldn't have got to my keyboard there. It says, beware of dinosaurs. What? Beware of dinosaurs. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's leave China. Where are we at now? We're here. We're in The Simpsons. I can go anywhere I want. I can go to New York because we're in New York. People are in New York. Say hello, everyone from New York. Say hello.
Hi, gorgeous.
Hello. That was to someone else. That was not me, but thank you. I'll take it. I'm in New York, so let's do some New York style comedy. Hello. What is the deal with lockdown? Normally, if you act up, you get locked up. Now the government mucks up, you get locked down. Okay, so with that for everyone here, we've got this is Coco Gauff. She's a tennis player. Hello there, Coco Gauff. I'll get out of the way here. I'm in her way here. There we go here. Hello, Coco Gauff. I don't know how mirrors look. Hello, Coco Gauff. Do you know Coco Gauff? She's a tennis player. She's amazing. When she was 15, she beat Venus Williams. Seriously, yeah? 15 years old, beat Venus, which is amazing. Yeah? She's Coco Gauff. And she is the epitome of this gig because she is not only American, she's also half British. She's actually Welsh. Her full name is Clanfire Put Gwynwyth Gogero Windrow Wishland Tusilio Coco Gauff. There you go. Also here is Andy Onion's life hacks. I'm over here now. Andy Onion's life hacks. Here's a life hack here. If you have wet pants, be it whatever reason, you can dry them on a fan using a book called 101 It Is for a Rainy Day. Also, this is my Christmas dinner. Look, it's Christmas Day. It goes off there. What's this next? That's the end of the life hacks. There you go. ONN News. Here we go. It's the news bulletin bit. I have no point of that. Hello, welcome to the news. Here's the news. Bristol. Mum pulls kid out of school because she was given a tuna sandwich after a long poo. He had a newsworthy poo. Yeah? The best bit here, look at this here, zoom in. There's a quote. He was having a poo. What happened basically? There was a sandwich as a kid was his poo made the news. I once had a fart that cleared a Claire's accessories. Everyone, including the shopkeeper, left. Never done anything like that. Apart from here is me. Look, it's me. Look, it's me virtually here. Look at this. There's a me and a me. How clever. And I was here and I was running in the woods. It wasn't me, but someone I knew did it. It was me, really. No, I was having a poo. Here you go. I was running in the woods and I went here and I needed a poo because there's no toilets anymore because they're locked down. And so I went for a quick poo, as you can see. And then I was doing a poo. There's the stick lines that took ages to draw. And then a dog comes around and starts sniffing around. I'm like, no, the dog, wah, wah, wah. And the dog was sniffing around and I was like, the dog got poo on it. And then this old lady turns up and she's like, oh, I didn't draw that. And then the old lady's over here, she's like, what happened? She sees the poo, sees the dog. She thinks it's her poo. She picks up the dog's poo, thinks it's my poo. She's carrying my poo. That wasn't very good at all. That was a disaster. Yeah. So, oh, what's that? What's going on? Oh, no. Oh, no, it's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur. Oh, no, a dinosaur. I guess the message is heed the warnings of China.
Hi.
No. He, mommy.
Give it up one more time for Andy Onion.
Hi.
10 minutes.
Hey, Andy, make me the host again.
Fantastic stuff, Andy. And not an Excel. Great stuff. Okay. We've got just 2 acts left. It's been a great show. We've got Connor Phillip next. He's incredibly one-liner comedian. Give him a nice warm welcome all the way from somewhere in Scotland.
Yeah.
Connor Phillip.
Oh, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you to Guy for the warm introduction. I'm coming at you here from somewhere in Scotland, and it's a pleasure to be on the show. So let's talk about lockdown and all the fun that it's brought us. I thought it's a chance to try new things. So just the other week, for the first time, I tried Russian tea. Yeah, I tried Russian tea. It took me ages to get the tea bag out of the vodka bottle. So I was doing a job interview, right? I was doing a job interview because, I'm a young guy looking for a job, no qualifications. I'm quite nervous. And the interviewer says, Connor, here's a question for you. If you could have a conversation with someone, living or dead, who would it be? I said, definitely the living one. So I didn't go that well at that point. So I had to sort of redeem myself in the next question. And he says, Connor, tell me, what is do you have a unique skill? Do you have a unique skill? Do you do something? Can you do something that no one else can do? I said, yeah, I can read my own handwriting. All right. So as I was saying, lockdown's all about trying new things, and I like to get out when possible and when it's safe. So the other day, for the first time, I had lunch at an open air cafe, and it started raining really heavily. It took me 2 hours to finish my soup. So I'm talking about learning stuff. There's something I've been learning for a ridiculous length of time. It's taken me ages to learn it. I'm still learning how to drive. And I've been getting driving lessons. And so I'm in the car with the instructor. I thought it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well, right? Then all of a sudden the instructor says, Connor, what do you do there? You just made an illegal turn. I said, come on, it can't be that bad. The police car behind us did the same thing. Now, talking about cars, I was walking down the street the other day. I see someone, he's looking at his car. He's looking under the bonnet of his car. I said, what's going on here? What's up? He says, piston broke. Piston broke. I said, yeah, so am I. So, you know what's happening at this time of year? The clocks go back. I'm in big trouble because I can't remember where mine came from. Don't tell it it's adopted, right? I want to go traveling again. People aren't really going traveling anymore because of the virus, but I want to go on holiday again. So I'm looking forward to the future. And I was phoning the airport, booking a holiday for next summer. And I was booking a holiday, and the person on the phone, she says, how many people are flying with you? I said, you tell me, it's your plane. It'll be all right. Flying with people, just interacting with people, because lockdown can be lonely for many people. It is lonely for me. In fact, I lost a friend recently. He just abandoned me. He left me because of my OCD. Yeah. I told him to close the door 5 times on the way out. But I'm not getting respect, Like just the other morning, my neighbors knocked on my door at 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. Luckily, I was awake playing my bagpipes. So I was looking all right. You know what I mean? Word of advice: if you're attacked by a bunch of clowns, always go for the juggler. All right. So I was walking about, going for a walk yesterday, and I was walking past the cemetery, and I saw someone crouching behind a tombstone. I said, morning. He said, no, just having a shit. So I'm looking at, I was in the chemist the other day. And I says to them, says to the assistant, excuse me, do you know what cures coronavirus? And she says, ammonia cleaner. ammonia cleaner. I said, sorry, I thought you worked here. Again, I don't like going to the chemist. They're not nice to me there. So the other day I was in the chemist. They said, Connor, you have to stop taking vitamins. I said, why is that? They said, because shoplifting is illegal. And it's not only me that's getting a tough time at the chemist. My grandfather was at the chemist the other day, went up there. He says, hey, can I get some Viagra? I said, yeah, of course, yeah, you can get some. I said, right, can I get it over the counter? And she says, yeah, maybe after 5 or 6 pills. So I'm gonna end on one more joke. I see I'm just a teeny bit over time. So my final joke, I was in a bit of a moral dilemma the other day. I was outside Tesco and I saw a £20 note on the ground. I thought, what do you do here? What would Jesus do? So I turned it into wine. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Connor Phillip. You've been a wonderful audience. Good night.
Give it up one more time for Connor Phillip.
Yay, thank you.
Now, I'm finding, as I get older, I get more superstitious. If I see one magpie, I've got to look for another one, or else something really bad might happen. Like when I had that horrendous car accident. I mean, that'll teach me to go bird watching on the M25. Okay, we've got one more act left, and it's Jocelyn Chia. Jocelyn, are you ready?
I am, yes.
Okay, give her a nice warm welcome. Jocelyn Chia.
Hi. Hey, international people. I'm calling from New York. So recently went through a breakup. This guy, he had a lazy eye, but it could still wander. I should have known that we're gonna break up eventually though, because we both only had one thing in common. We both love him. He did once say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I'm like, okay, can we stop with this bullshit? It doesn't make any sense. It's like a soap commercial saying, Dove, it will clean you, but you won't be clean. Or a guy trying to have sex with a girl and saying, so, is it in yet? And she's like, yeah, it's in, but it's not inside. My brother-in-law married my sister thinking she was going to be this docile, submissive Asian woman, which she was at first, but then she went from docile Debbie to dominatrix Debbie. And now he is doing things he's never done before. He cooks, he cleans, he complains about cramps. Do we all know Ted Bundy in the UK? Yeah, so serial killer in America. And the crazy thing is that a lot of women have a crush on Ted Bundy. And I think it's not just because he's good looking, but it's because women, we like a man who can plan. You know, any ladies having this conversation with your guys? Hey, babe, what are we doing this weekend? I don't know. Why can't be more like Ted? I was having a lot of trouble getting all these guys who just wanted sex. And so my friend gave me this advice to dress down on the first date and not look sexy. So I tried that and it worked. I stopped getting men. I did meet this one guy though, who was telling me on a date that he had gotten out of a mental institution. I was like, oh, someone can be committed. I did meet this one guy who was bragging about how he has this way of getting women to kiss him that works 100% of the time. I was like, wow, what is this? He goes, oh, after the date, I walk her home and I just go like this. I was like, that's such a nerdy move. And he turned out to be such a nerd. He developed a bunch of apps and he sold his apps to Google and Facebook and Microsoft. And when I heard that, I was like, I did have a new guy though. We have been quarantining together for the pandemic. It's been 3 months. We still haven't had sex though, because I want to be good. I want to wait until he's 18. All right, that's what I want to try, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, give it up one more time for Jocelyn Chia.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And give it up for all our acts in the second half. Romina Puma, Eva Gonzalez, Rebecca Wall, Stephen Mulwiney, Bangkok, Alison Lee, Andy Onions, Anna Phillips, and Jocelyn Chia. Now, it's been a great show, hasn't it? And it has been a really tough time, and it's going to get tougher. We're in a second lockdown, but I will leave you with this. We will get through it. There will be an end. We will make it to the last episode of Ozark. Thank you. Nice. All right. Are we doing an after show, Anthony?
No, not this time, but I thank everybody for coming out, and thank you too, Guy, for getting all these wonderful comics, and good job hosting.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who organised it and everyone who was on. It's brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
very
having
much.
me. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Brilliant stuff. Keep in touch. We'll do another
All
one.
right.
Cool.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
All the best. See you later, folks.